Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome to Bhroman Braapsody. This is where we review cars and motorcycles. And today I'm here at Motorcycles of Greensboro with the man, the myth, and the legend. It's the professor, you guys.
Bro, welcome back home, brother. How are you?
Living the dream. How are you?
Another day in paradise for me as well. I'm around this stuff all day long, every day. What could possibly ever go bad? This is life.
This is life.
This is living.
And we have a special motorcycle for you today. We have the hotly anticipated. This is the 2023 Ducati DesertX. We're gonna talk about the bike, see some of its cool features. I'm gonna take it out on the road, share my thoughts with you guys, talk about the cost of ownership, and assign it a Bhroman score. But before we do any of that, if you're new to Bhroman, listen to the professor. Hit that like, click that subscribe button. We put out content every week, and your support would mean a lot. It's me, it's your boy Bro, and I am your Bhroman.
So there was a time through the 80s, early 90s, where Ducati was owned by a company called Cagiva, another Italian motorcycle manufacturer that you don't hear of very much anymore, but they were very prominent in racing. MotoGP, when the MotoGP were 500cc two-stroke motorcycles, Cagiva was very prominent. Another thing that Cagiva was really prominent in, and they loved it, was desert racing. And Cagiva produced a motorcycle back then called the Elephant. The Elephant had a Ducati engine in it. Well, they had the Elephant racing in the Dakar race and won it 2 years consecutively. And the whole idea of off-roading for Ducati started with the Scrambler desert sled. And they were originally they were trying to get the design of the desert sled and the engineering to be able to take it serious off-roading. That project didn't really work so well. So they scrapped that project, and Ducati started looking back at what models had done well and so on and so forth. And because they were part of Cagiva at the time, and they were part of the engineering team and the design team, they basically just went back to the Elephant days and borrowed a lot of styling from the Elephant, design cues from the bike. As a matter of fact, although they did employ the expertise of several professional desert racers to properly ergonomically design the seat, the tank, so that you can comfortably ride it while standing, because obviously if you're racing in the desert, a lot of your time you're standing, you're not really sitting on the seat. Foot peg positioning, handlebar positioning, the way that the dashboard is now installed in the motorcycle vertically as opposed to horizontally, it's because while you're standing, you want it to be taller.
Exactly.
But again, with all the aerodynamic work that Ducati is doing, they wanted to be able to have a clean hole punched in the air, and so they tried to design the engine, the fairing, to be not massive. It is chain driven, although a lot of people say, why would you want to chain drive on sand? Because sand gets in there. Well, because the chain is the most efficient and direct way of applying power to the ground, and when you're in sand, you never have enough power.
You never do.
Sand is just like sand and water, or both. You could have 1,000,000 horsepower and it's not enough.
So like this comes with a 5.5 gallon fuel tank. You can get an additional 2.1 or 2.2 gallon fuel tank, right?
Goes right here.
Auxiliary fuel tanks on the side.
The additional accessory tank basically gets mounted here. It goes on, it takes place of the rear seat, and then there's a pump in it.
That'll pump the fuel.
That as that one empties out and it starts showing low on the display, it automatically starts the pump here, and it pumps fuel from this tank to that tank. So in this bike, you have your L twin or your 90-degree twin. 90-degree. In the form of an L. 950 cc's, with about 113 horsepower output.
And 68 foot-pound of torque?
About, That's
a decent amount. That's not decent. A decent, that's a good amount of torque.
Yeah. But again, if you're in loose sand, it's never enough. Never enough.
Gotcha. You have it in this beautiful, gorgeous black, gray, and red spec, or you could have it in this beautiful white color with the red stickers, red seats, all of that. You know me, Professor. I love the white.
You love white.
Color.
You like. I don't know why you like the white with the red combination so much.
You mind if I do a quick walk around of this?
Please be my guest.
Awesome. All right. So starting off from the front of the bike, you have those dual LED rings for the headlamps. Man, they look so cool, like the Dakar Rally motorcycles. I love it. And turn signals are mounted on the sides. Now this bike has a 27.6 degree rake angle. What's the rake angle, you ask? Well, draw perpendicular from the steering mount for the fork tube. That's your rake angle. And this has a 10-inch ground clearance with a little skid plate down there. Serious business. 34-inch seat height and weighs about 500 pounds curb weight. It's got pretty skinny tires up front, but dual discs with Brembo brakes. Pretty cool. No single-sided swing arm on this motorcycle. Disc brakes in the back, Brembo brakes, and you see everything's elevated so that you can get a lot of clearance. As for the back of the bike, it's got a single tail light there, turn signals on the sides, a really short fender, rear fender, and you got the license plate holder. You can see it's a chain drive, and you got all the goodies, quick shifter, and on the side it says it's a DesertX. As for the seats, these are narrow up front, so it lets you stand up and grab the tank. Seats are pretty well padded, I'd say, and it's nice to the touch, but it's kind of like weather resistant material for both the rider and the passenger. I'm a big fan of this matte white finish of Ducatis. The fuel tank cover is towards your right hand side, and it's a pretty tall tank. It goes up and above, and you have the little Italian flag here. It also comes with a steering stabilizer, and the front forks can be adjusted as well. All right, let's talk about the handlebar controls. On the left hand side we have hazards, ABS. You can turn your ABS off on top, cruise control buttons here. This is to toggle through the menu, turn signals, and horn. And on the right hand side you have the kill switch, starter button, and your DRLs. This comes with a regular key. It's different from the other Ducati keys. It's much longer. The key goes in here, and check this out. Boom. And you get a good amount of information on the screen, and this is a vertical screen rather than the horizontal screen. On the left hand side you have your fuel gauge. You have a couple of things to toggle through. This gives you your time, digital tachometer, which riding mode you're on, your speedometer, which gear you're on, levels of traction control, ABS, engine braking, quick shifter, all of that. Then you get some more additional information down below: mileage, outside temperature. Yes, this comes with riding modes, and like we said, it has 6 riding modes. You have rally, enduro, wet, touring, urban, and sport. And if you go back, there's other stuff on your menu that you can go through and calibrate if you wanted to. Service, riding mode, info display, fuel indicator, DRL, etc., etc. Now let me show you guys another cool thing. If you go into chrono, that gives you a stopwatch. Like a lap timer. How cool is that? Can you tell our viewers a little bit about this Motorcycles of Greensboro?
We're not here to push people into buying something. We're here to help people make an educated decision about how to make their motorcycling dreams come true. You know, we are a group of motorcyclists that have come together and are here to share our experiences, our stories, as well as we'd like to have our fellow riders share their experiences and their stories with us. Basically here to support motorcycling and everything that it entails. Yes, we do make our living from the sale, but for the most part, I would say that at Motorcycles of Greensboro, we're not selling. Our fellow motorcyclists are buying.
I'm buying, yeah. They are amazing. They're super friendly, super helpful. They'll talk to you, share stories, crack jokes, listen to your stories. Come on down, check them out. This is Motorcycles of Greensboro, y'all. I'll have the link in the video description below.
And make sure that you mention that the Bhroman sent you, because then you'll be immediate family member.
Immediately part of this family. Professor, we've been talking for a while. Do you happen to know what time it is?
I see you remembered your watch this time.
I did.
And mine says it's right o'clock, brother.
It's right o'clock, let's go. All right, so if you guys are new to Bhroman, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. We put out content every week, and your support would mean a lot. Oh yeah. Let's do a couple of U-turns and see how this puppy maneuvers, shall we? Huh.
U-turns, no problemo. It feels, it is a tall bike, but it feels so well balanced and planted. And that engine, oh, I love that thump of that engine. Which means it's time to do our second test, the pull test. We'll see how this puppy pulls, shall we? Sport mode, and this puppy just changes its characteristic. It can move, man. 110 horses, it can still hustle. So first impressions of this motorcycle, I put it back in touring mode so we can see what touring mode is all about. Seating wise, seating position, I'm sitting up quite upright. These handlebars are at a perfect length. I'm not reaching out for them. My arms aren't strained or anything. I can see a lot. I can see so much around me. It's awesome. All right, stop sign. Let's check out brakes. Brakes, front brakes only. Ding, boom, boom, boom. Brembo brakes, not a problem. I can flat foot this puppy quite easily with one foot. If I put both feet down, not so much. I can't flat foot it. I'm not quite on my tippy toes, but kind of like on the balls of my feet. The twin. The sound of that twin is so intoxicating. Riding it around in touring mode, no issues in touring mode. Plenty of torque available, and you see that your tachometer kind of starts blinking in like yellow or orange to let you know that it's time to shift, bro. Alright, wind protection. Well, there is a little bit of wind protection. I'm not getting blasted with wind right here, but on my arms and stuff, yeah, I'm feeling quite a good amount of wind. Now this is a nice and warm day today, so temps in the 60s. Yeah, so in touring mode, you're not left wanting for power either. Here, check this out. Yeah. So you might think it's just 110 horses or whatever, but keep in mind it's a Ducati, so of course they're gonna cover their bases, so you can, when you need to, it'll hustle for sure. Yeah, the tires are the skinnier tires than your regular sports bike tires, because this is more adventure focused riding. This motorcycle is supposed to be taken on more adventure focused riding, but the balance is really good, and on the street it's awesome. And the suspension, man, it's doing its job. In street riding, I'm going over these like bumps on the road or whatever, and I feel nothing. Torque is what you need in street riding as well, and there is plenty of torque already on the tap. Ready on the tap. Can we change modes on the fly? I think we can. So we were in touring. Let's try urban mode. Close throttle and boom, we're in urban mode. Now urban mode on like the Diavel cuts down your power a lot. I'm assuming it's the same on this to a certain extent, yeah. I mean the power is all there, it's just not as ready. You have to wring its neck quite a bit for it to do its thing, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because you're riding in urban mode. Yeah, you have to get it up there. Ooh, but when you get there, yeah, it makes sure to not let you forget that you still are riding a Ducati. As for the seat is actually quite good. I mean, it's not the comfiest of seats, but it's not hard. It's got good padding. It's a little narrow for my liking, but that's the kind of seats you get on bikes in this category. And my legs, yeah, they're not bent in a weird way or anything. I'm pretty comfortable, and this is a bike where you can stand up and ride as well, so I can do this. I'm standing up and riding, looking around, la 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 la. I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. I'm such a child. Let's change the mode to something else. La la la. let's try wet. So wet mode is where you're riding through rainy conditions and sucky conditions, and here is where all the 90 systems, your traction control, ABS, everything is at its like best. So it's not gonna let you do any stupid things or let you get into trouble. So yeah. I mean, you really have to wring its neck, and once you get it up in the revs, it will move a little bit, but for the most part it's very well mannered and well behaved. Let's go into sport mode, and it's night and day. And now I mean like sport mode is like where it's ready to go. It's just ready to go. So if you want to have fun with this on this bike on the streets, sport mode. Sport mode, most definitely sport mode. The throttle response is so amazing in sport mode, and the sound of that twin, the Ducati twin, oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful is what it is. So would this bike be a good bike for commuting? Yeah, of course. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's got plenty of power, and the riding position and the seating position is really good. Now you don't have saddlebags or anything on this, so you can either get saddlebags, buy saddlebags and put them on, or you can carry a backpack with all your laptop and work things. Yeah, I don't see why not. You can even put a tank bag, I guess. So yeah, it should be good for commuting. Is it a good bike for touring? Yeah, I mean, you should be able to do just fine. You get a 5-gallon fuel tank, that's standard, and then you can get that additional 2-gallon, like the secondary 2-gallon fuel tank. So you should be fine. You should be really fine. Touring should not be an issue. Now granted, if you're looking for a lot of wind protection, a lot of other doodads like your speakers and you know, like a big screen with navigation and all of that, this might still have navigation if you connect through the Ducati app, but yeah, you don't get all of that. But this is like, you know, you want an adventure touring motorcycle and you want to have some fun. Yeah, this is that kind of touring. We're gonna get a little bit dirty. We're gonna take the roads, paths where the roads end, and that's where we're gonna forge our own way. Now, is it a good bike for beginners? Well, power-wise, not really, because that 110 horsepower, man, when you crack open the throttle, it really kicks in. Secondly, this bike is gonna cost you close to what, $20,000 or something like that, and it's a tall bike. So this is not really a very beginner-friendly bike. If you like the off-roady-ish kind of bike that can, or a motorcycle that can do off-road and street and something like that, and you're really a beginner, the Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled, that's actually a really good bike for that. Not a whole lot of power, doesn't cost as much, and you can still do some off-roading on that bike. What about the cost of ownership, bro, man? So, in conclusion, it looks really cool if you ask me. It's got the retro design going on, the suspension is amazing, the engine, man, that's the 950cc the L twin engine, that's like amazing. The engine has character, the suspension is amazing, and when you open up the throttle and get higher into the revs, oh yeah, it reminds you it's a Ducati. All of that, and you can ride standing up, checking out the views and whatnot. This is an adventure motorcycle after all, so yeah, it's okay to commute. It'll be good to commute, it'll be good for touring, and most definitely not for beginners. I don't think it's really good for beginners. Is the DesertX the bike for you? Well, head on down to your closest Ducati dealer. take one out for a spin and check it out. Well, thanks for watching, you guys. Keep an ease on the breeze, and I'll see you soon. Bro out.